What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're all doing well today. Today, I'm really excited to bring you my top carries from April 2022. Before I jump into that, real quick pocket check is going to be my Benchmade Mini Adamas. This one here is the coated crewwear blade with the green G10 handles and access lock. Really like this one a whole lot. It is just a nice mini pocket tank, chunky little boy with a really well done edge from Benchmade. Like this one a lot. I've had to strap it a couple times from using this one up, but the coating is holding up pretty well, but that's more than likely because I'm just getting into some packages and maybe like breaking down some light knife boxes when I get an overabundance in stock. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. I'm going to go in reversed order, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, with the fifth place having a three-way tie, so I apologize. Didn't realize that had happened until I actually got back to the counter and broke it down. But, you know, it is what it is. Can't help what I wanted to throw in my pocket, and these all had the same amount of carries, and I didn't want to exclude any particular one. First up is going to be my Benchmade Bug Out. This is the S30V variant, as you can see here on the blade. It does have these titanium scales from Flytanium. I did anodize these myself, and I do really like the way that they came out, and you can even see a little bit of patina from where my fingers kind of touch and the oil sits on there. Don't really see a need to clean that. I kind of like the contrasting look in that one. So this is number one of the three that tied for fifth place. That's kind of far away, and I probably can get them all on the screen here. I think, possibly. We'll see. I should be able to. I think I've done it before where I've had more than just the top 5 on here. The number 2 from the three-way tie for fifth place is going to be the Spyderco Smock with the Jungle Wear fat carbon scales here, made by Spencer over on Instagram. He goes by Carbodize. Check him out if you're interested in scales for your Spyderco. He does a lot of them, and he also does them for the AD 20.5. This does have the Lynch Northwest deep carry pocket clip, and I do have the skiff bearings in there, but I did not remove the second detent ball, so you still get that resistance so that it's not truly guillotine drop shut unless you keep the button all the way in there. The compression lock kind of presses it against that detent ball and kind of helps control the closing and opening of the knife, which I really like. It makes it very predictable, and those scales feel really nice in hand. Very good fit and finish. The third and last one of the tie in the fifth place, or three-way tie in the fifth place, is going to be my Chavez Redemption Street. This is the smaller pocket knife, but still a nice chunky pocket knife. Feels very good in hand. Fits my hands perfectly, and I have larger size hands. M390 blade with the dual ground blade, hollow in the middle, and then just a flat grind out on the tip to keep it nice and strong. Really love the studs on this one. Nice access to the lock. It does have a late detent lockup for the disengagement, but I personally like that with frame locks because I know that it's going to stop, not have to worry about it falling down on my nail, or worse, the thumb itself. That is the last of the three-way ties. I wanted to move through those quickly. I do enjoy all these knives, but since it was a three-way tie, I thought I would dedicate a little bit more time to the top 4 since there's only one in each position. Let's go ahead and jump into number 4. That is going to be the fairly newly released Civivi Conspirator. This one here has a very nice stonewashed Nitro V blade. I really like Civivi's Nitro V. I think it performs very well, and I think it's very underrated. I think 14C28N is getting a lot of attention, and justifiably. It is a fantastic steel, and Civivi's doing a really good job with it. But I think a lot of people overlook the Nitro V, and I like this steel a lot. It performs really well. Slices through material, gets good bite. I just like it a lot. I find that I'm enjoying it. My particular version has the micarta scales. So contoured, it's chamfered all around the edges. They knocked it down to make it nice and smooth, which really I think was a good call. It helps with the ergonomics. It makes it very comfortable for long periods of use. So if you're breaking down multiple boxes, this is going to feel really nice in hand, has a nice solid weight to it without being too heavy in the pocket, which I truly do appreciate. They do put ceramic bearings in the pivot. Very nicely done button lock, and it has really nice action. Comes out with no problem whatsoever. I don't have to flip at it hard, and the button lock works consistently, as does the Fuller. So really nice knife. Only complaint, again, the pocket clip, a little hot, not awful. I mean, I think I complained about it so much people probably think that it's the worst thing in the world, and it's really not, because it really goes in and out of the pocket great. One-handed, no issues, but you just feel that it's there, and I kind of wish that they made it just a little bit wider, I think, or maybe if they could angle it. Well, they did angle it down. I think making it wider perhaps might distribute the contact point across the palm more evenly, so it doesn't feel so bad in hand. And I really like the way all of these blades look. They all have a very different look when you look at each one of them, and I think I really probably have a good admiration for a diverse inventory as far as it comes to the looks of these knives. But I really do like that one a lot. I think that is still my favorite. I have the Chevalier, or wait, somebody corrected me. I think it is the Chevalier. I think that's how they told me to say it. I probably still got it wrong. That's okay though. This is not really intended as a tie. I just kind of, these are interchangeable for me. So I'm going to bring both of them out here. First is going to be the Purple Haze variant of the AD 20.5. And then the other is going to be the Arctic Storm of the AD 20.5. Both of these have the fat carbon scales and Lynch Northwest deep carry pocket clip. But as you can see here, I did get the faded anodized where it goes from bronze to purple, blurple, and then into the blue, and then the blue to make the Arctic Storm pop. So I thought these looked really good. I did get one shark's foot and one clip point. I wanted to try each. I got one coated, one uncoated, and blacked out hardware. Kind of wish that they had blacked out the hardware here, but I don't know that I want to spend the money to send it out to get it Cerakoted. I think they look good just as is, and I did get different types of backspacers. Again, this is kind of really to get some variety from carbidized fat carbon scales that he's making out there. And there's a little bit of difference right here. I had him actually a little bit more material, so I didn't make contact with the part of the blade that rides along the shark lock. But both of these are really nice. I do like them, and they will be interchangeable anytime they make the list, because I do count them as one knife. It's just they're slightly different variants, and that's kind of why there's two of them there in the number 3 spot. All right, getting down to the final two. Number 2 is going to be the Mini Tempest by Sharp by Design. I really like this one a lot. It carries very small and very slender in profile while still filling out the hand nicely. Has good contouring on the scales, so it feels nice in hand, comfortable to use. It has good access to the lock bar for being a little bit thinner and a little bit smaller than some of the knives on the table. The Fuller works really good for me. I do find that when I come down here, I was kind of trying to get it here, and that seemed to work fine, but I found that actually when I catch it right where it ends with my finger, I actually find that I'm able to get it to deploy a little bit more snappier, feels a little bit more crisp in hand. And then of course the front flipper works really nice. I like the front flipper. The jimping's pretty good. I typically like the smaller, tighter jimping on here, but this is pretty good too, because I feel like he went a little deeper in the cuts for this, or whoever manufactured it went a little deeper in the cuts, whether by his design or by their execution or both. So really nice. I actually like the cleaner look of the twilled carbon fiber. The fat carbon fiber on here kind of looks a little odd to me personally, just because the splash of color is so subdued. It looks like more defective than it does design. I think if it would have had more of the color pop in it, or the colorways in it, I think it would have looked a little better on those. So I went for the cleaner lines on mine. And that's just personal preference. Doesn't mean it looks bad or good or indifferent. A complaint here is definitely going to be this pocket clip. Still pokey, still really tight, and I do have a hard time getting it in and out of the pocket on the hem. It wants to kind of catch, I find, more often than not. Action is really good. Very early break on the detent nub, so it is immediately engaged. Fortunately, it's not a super heavy blade, so it's not hard to control with the meat of your finger. If you do come in from the side, you can kind of catch it there and then kind of control how heavy it drops down. But it does absolutely, once disengaged, want to fall shut on its own and continues to break in nicely. The M390 on this, I have not talked about how the blades are performing. I did mention on the Civivi, the 80 20.5, the Austin A has performed well for me. Again, after I use it, I'm kind of sitting down that evening on the sofa with the wife, and I'm just taking it across the leather strap, just trying to maintain the edge and see how long I can keep them between needing to be sharpened so that they can last. Same here. And this is more opening packages than it is breaking down boxes. I think I only broke down, I think I only used it on a little small piece of cardboard to see how it would do. But this, I'm more opening the packages and probably mostly fidgeting with this one. That's not intentional. It's just I feel like this is a little bit more gentlemanly, a little bit more upscale. So depending on if I'm dressing up or going somewhere a little bit nicer, or maybe a function with the family or something like that, I might grab this or like the Bug Out or the Redention maybe over the others. That's not to say the others don't look good. I just think that I'm saying I save this one a little bit more for some type of special occasions. Number one is probably not going to be any surprise because I think it was on the list the last 2 months, and that's because I missed it so much while I didn't have the version that I sold to get the updated version or the newer version, and that's going to be my ProTech Malibu. This is still probably my favorite knife in my inventory, even though it's not the most expensive or the most decked out from a mod perspective. Matter of fact, the only thing that's on here are the aftermarket skiffs. Rocket Glides are on here, and I didn't notice any difference in the performance with the knife at all. I just like the fact, same as the Smock, taking it from stainless steel bearings over to the ceramic bearings to have that corrosive resistance with the actual balls themselves. I don't have to worry about them, even though I clean and lube my knives regularly. And for all intent and purposes, those stainless steel bearings, they're going to be fine if you're good about maintenance your knife. But if you don't want to worry about it, or if you go a little bit longer between your maintenance, the ceramic ball bearings in these Rocket Glides are going to give you a little bit better peace of mind. Both the Smock and the ProTech Malibu had full phosphor bronze cage around the bearings, so they were completely sealed, whereas the Civivis, CJRBs, Kaisers, those are kind of hollowed out. Not to say that they won't work. I just think of them as like dust traps, like lint traps. Things will be able to sit in there, whereas a full cage, you're not going to run into that issue. Action on this is really good. No lock stick. Well, now, acceptable lock stick. When I say no lock stick with a button lock, that just means it has like a hint for me. If I say no lock stick, it really means that there's none, which actually would worry me, because then I worry about lock rock at a certain point. I recently picked up and I didn't bring it out here, the CJRB Feldspar button lock, and it started out great, but once the pivot started to back out and the spring started to move around, I noticed that it really isn't locking up, meaning it's just kind of like I'll deploy it and it won't catch. So after this video, I'm actually going to try to take it apart, clean it, lube it, put it back together, see if that fixes it. If not, I might take a number 2 pencil and just around the button lock, because it's not operating smoothly. I'm going to take some Carbodize from the number 2 pencil and rub it around the button lock and see if that helps that CJRB Feldspar. But I do plan to do like a video around that, because I want to find the fix or the solution first, just in case anybody else is experiencing that. But my ProTechs, I have never had an issue with any of them. I've only had 2, so not a large sample, but the 2 that I have, I either got really lucky and having no issues, or some others out there are not as lucky. I've heard a couple of YouTubers and content creators out there mention the fact that their ProTechs had a little bit heavier of a lock stick, and you can see like it's like a thud when they go to do it. I think that's just very unfortunate, because I've not had that experience at all with mine, and you can tell because I think it's made it to the top of some of these videos. I do carry this one a lot. So there you go. These 3 were tied for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Really enjoyed these carries. What has been your favorite carry, or what's in your pocket the most here lately? I would love to hear from you guys what you're carrying. Again, your interactions and comments help me maybe get a little more information about a knife that I might be considering, or perhaps discovering a knife that I haven't checked out yet, or maybe that I'm on the fence of if I have heard about it, but I just haven't gotten time to review it or seen enough feedback about it. So I really do enjoy when you guys let me know in the comments about that. And let me know what you liked out of my carries. If you don't want to leave a comment about yours or what's been in your pocket, just leave me a comment about mine. What did you like best out of here? Or what would you have carried most? Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate all the support. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, leave a like. It really does help me out with the channel. Consider subscribing if you haven't. I get way more views, way more views than I do subscribers. And that kind of baffles me, because if you're enjoying the content, why not subscribe? Or maybe you didn't and I'm all wrong. Anyway, if you have subscribed, thanks for the support. I really appreciate it. And hopefully you guys have checked out the video that I dropped here recently for the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. And I have something that I'm going to be giving away at the end of May. So make sure you check those out. Opportunity to get some swag as a thank you from me to you for the support. I hope you have a fantastic week. Until next time, peace.